Hey friends, today I'm creating two apartments for two different artists in The Sims 4. Let's check it out. So I'm back in Magnolia Promenade for these builds, and this is part of my, I guess, kind of date night series building that I was working on, which I have finished at least all the community lots on, and I thought it'd be fun to create some apartments on this top level. So that's what I'm working on today. And I've got two here for this kind of first section of the building. And then there's two for each of the other two sections, which I'll be working on a bit later. And I did all the floor plans off camera just because it took me a little bit to figure out how I wanted these all to look and how to use the space correctly. So there'll end up being 5 one-bedroom apartments and 1 two-bedroom apartment by the time I'm finished. And yeah, for these first two, I thought it would make sense that the first apartment that I work on here is owned by the owner of the kind of paint and sip studio that I created earlier. And if you haven't seen any of those videos, I'll link them below as part of my kind of date night series that I was working on with a bunch of just kind of like fun community lots. And yeah, I thought it would make sense that she lives up here and yeah, very, very quick commute to work, which would be really nice. And my kind of thought process for this sim is that she kind of gives like a mix of elementary art class teacher mixed with your fun aunt who drinks a lot of wine. So yeah, she's kind of like very bright and colorful, and that's kind of what I wanted her apartment to look like as well. And these first two apartments are probably the smallest of the 6, but they're still, I would say, still pretty decent size. Like I was able to get, a pretty good sized kitchen and living room here in this kind of area. And then I also did this little painting area for her, in case she wanted to be able to paint in, a separate space from where she works most of the time. I imagine she probably still does a lot of her painting and creating down in the studio. But yeah, I thought it would kind of make sense that she would still have, a separate space for whatever she's working on. And I thought it would be fun to use these like newspapers with the paint splatters on them. I wasn't sure at first if that was going to work how I wanted, but luckily they layered correctly. So that was nice. And yeah, I kind of skipped ahead and pulled out a few different couches. I wasn't really sure kind of the vibe that I wanted to go with at first. So yeah, I struggled a little bit to find the colors that I liked. But I ended up going with the one from Paranormal Stuff. I think that's where that couch is from. Just because it's, pretty bright and colorful. It's got some, kind of fun pillows and blankets on it. I thought that would make sense for her because I wanted this place to have quite a bit of color kind of throughout. And I imagine that her apartment is a bit more established and a bit more personalized, for her since she's been living here for quite a while. So she has, nicer kitchen appliances. She'll have a little bit different bathroom as well, a little bit more kind of customized. We got a little bit of a story with that. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to bring in some different pieces that maybe she's just collected over the years. Things that maybe she has painted herself and like refurbished. Like maybe this console table behind the couch is something that she found and painted this really fun bright yellow. And yeah, and I imagine she probably gets a lot of things from the thrift store that's part of this building, and kind of like refurbishes different pieces. I thought that would be kind of a fun story for her. I imagine she is mostly interested in painting. That's kind of like her passion, but she does a lot of different types of like artwork and just a lot of different crafting and woodworking even. I think she would be very just talented just in a lot of different creative works. So I thought that was kind of fun to bring that here. And I imagine the woman in this apartment is also like in her late 40s, early 50s. She has owned the paint and sip for quite a while. Just really got into, painting when she was younger, and maybe traveled a lot and discovered her love of wine or nectar since I did kind of like a nectar bar with it. So she kind of creates her own, bottles of nectar for the business and everything. And I thought that was, it'd be kind of a good storyline for her. And yeah, and then her neighbor, I'm imagining she's a bit younger, that she has moved to Magnolia Promenade because maybe there's like an art school nearby that she's attending. And she's not quite as interested in painting, but really enjoys like working with her hands, doing lots of like crafting and maybe like woodworking and things like that. So the woman in this kind of first apartment is, kind of like a mentor to her. That's kind of the relationship that I thought would be kind of fun to kind of put together here. So yeah. And I ended up keeping the walls and floors pretty neutral in both of the apartments, just since I'm imagining this is kind of like a historic building. So she didn't want to do a lot to the walls and floors and change them too much, just to keep that more, historic, authentic charm to them. And, maybe she, owns she owns both apartments and she rents the other one. So, she didn't want any of her tenants painting and kind of ruining that kind of historic vibe. So that's kind of why she keeps both of them, kind of neutral in that way, but she uses a lot of different colors and has artwork and all of that everywhere, just to kind of make up for that. And yeah, here in the bathroom, I'm imagining that these tiles on the floor were maybe hand painted by her. She, created these and laid them herself, just as kind of, part of upgrading this bathroom. And same with the vanity, maybe she found that either while she was traveling and kind of, brought it back, or maybe at the thrift store. And so she's had that piece for quite a while. So I thought that was kind of fun. And I definitely wanted to have a tub in here. I imagine she would love a nice soak in a tub with a glass of nectar and, I don't know, listening to murder mystery podcasts or something. Just kind of the energy she gives me. So I did just a regular bathtub. I tried to use one with a shower as well, but I don't know, it just didn't really fit the vibe that I was going for. Yeah, I would really love some more shower tub combos in the game. I feel like we still just do not have very many. I think we just have like the big base game one. There's kind of like the older style one, and then like the one that we got with Growing Together, I think is like the nicer one, which I use a lot. But yeah, it would be nice if there were just a few more combination ones, because I don't know, I don't see a lot of bathrooms where you just have a tub. Like, you would also have a shower with it, unless they're separate, but usually that'd be like in a bigger bathroom. So yeah, would love some more of those. And of course I had to add a bunch of different decorative paintings and clutter items to all the walls in there. So yeah, I used that towel rack, which I don't know if I probably used it before, but not very often. So I thought that was nice. Would also love some more towel racks like that. I think that's a really great object, since we don't have a ton of towel options in the game. So that would be nice. And yeah, just kind of working on the bedroom now. Again, a lot of just bright, different colors in here. I thought this bookshelf from high school years fit in really well right there. So yeah, I thought that was great. I think the bed is from Growing Together. I really like that kind of dark, almost like burgundy color on there with like the blue accents. So I tried to carry those colors around. I think this room especially has that sort of primary color art school teacher vibe to it. So yeah, I thought that was kind of fun. Kind of bring a bunch of different colors kind of all over the place. I really like building like houses and apartments and stuff for really colorful Sims. I think that's really fun. And the game loves vibrant colors, a lot of different kind of wacky colors, honestly, but it works well for these types of Sims for sure. And for the paintings I put above the bed, I was originally thinking of doing one of the really expensive pieces, because I imagine, she's an art lover. Maybe she's collected some, really valuable pieces of art, throughout her time. But the frames on all of those pieces are just very ornate, and they just wouldn't really make sense, in her space. So I went with those from, I think the ones I went with are the ones from Love Struck. I thought those worked out nicely. Maybe she even painted one and bought another one or something. Thought that was kind of fun. But yeah, I always go back to this like issue with the swatches in this game. But man, if they had just like gave us a couple different options with the swatches to customize different parts of an object, I think that would have worked so much better. Because like if you could do paintings with like different frames, that would give you so much more like flexibility, and that would have been really nice. So I don't know. I'm sure they will probably never change it, but that's kind of like my one really big wish for The Sims, is to give us different swatch options like that. And I'm just finishing up her apartment with the lighting. Some of it is kind of standard, kind of light fixtures like in the kitchen and this entry area. Just kind of basic ones, but I did do that a little bit more interesting one in the living room. I thought that was kind of fun. Maybe she's swapped that out. Maybe it's something that she created herself. I think that would be really cool. But yeah, now I'm over in the other apartment now. And this one, it's a little bit more basic, I guess. Like it's definitely feels a little bit more like a rental than something where someone has like built their life in. So yeah, this one, the layout's also a little bit different because this window was much closer to the counters and everything. So I couldn't put counters all the way up to it because it would clip in, and I didn't want to move the window because it lined up with the window on the floor below it. So I wanted to make sure that looked consistent. So I put the fridge there, which does work, kind of blocks it a little bit, but that also kind of feels like a rental to me. Like I've definitely lived in places where things were certainly not thought through, the best. So I thought that still kind of made sense, even if it's, not the best layout for sure. And for the furniture in this place, I'm imagining it's pretty much all either from the thrift store or passed down, or maybe it's like something from IKEA. I'm imagining this like TV stand that I put in here. It's like one of the few things that she bought new and like put together, just since she couldn't, find anything that worked well. So yeah, a lot of different kind of mismatched pieces. I thought that was kind of fun. I tried to use this coffee table from Horse Ranch, I believe it's from, but I don't know. There's something about it that just like wasn't quite fitting in. So I do end up swapping that out in a little bit. And there's also this, I don't know, it must be a newer item that has the blankets hanging on it. I don't know if that was from maybe one of the like event updates or something. I don't think it was an event reward, but I don't know, maybe they added it around then, because I don't remember that item. So yeah, I really wanted to get that in here. And then I used a few items from Nifty Knitting, I believe is what the desk and that little cart are from. I thought these were really cute and would make a lot of sense. And she's, I imagine she's very crafty, loves like knitting and just, I don't know, maybe scrapbooking and creating just random things. So yeah, I kind of thought that was fun. And I thought it would be fun if both of these Sims were kind of musical. So I added a keyboard in this apartment, and then you may have missed it, but I added a violin in the first apartment. I thought maybe, she had been playing the violin since she was young, and she just kind of like kept up with it. She really enjoyed it. So just like another creative thing. But yeah, here's where I swap out the coffee table. And I had kind of a little story in my mind too, because I used that same item in the first apartment. And I'm thinking maybe this used to be one larger like card catalog piece from, maybe like a library that they were getting rid of, that they bought together and kind of like split apart, and they worked on it together and like, refinished it and painted it. And it was kind of like a bonding thing for them. I thought that was kind of fun. But yeah, obviously none of that will be like, real in the build or anything, but just kind of like, I don't know. I think it's fun to make up little stories like that about Sims. Kind of helps to like, you know, create those stories, even if it's not exactly, you know, written out or anything. But yeah, I don't know. I thought that was kind of fun. And oh boy, this bedroom was a struggle for me. I don't I don't know what it was, but I just could not figure out the colors that I wanted to use or like the different pieces. So first I start off with this kind of like futon-esque bed, because I, you know, imagine that she would get something pretty cheap to, you know, move in here with. But at one point I decided that it's not really so much about how expensive the items are within the game, because I was trying to use this vanity table that was cheaper, but then I was like, well, this other one, it looks older and like something you would find at a thrift store or wherever. So even though it's more expensive, I went with that, and my, you know, kind of thought process that she didn't actually spend that, you know, full amount for it, like at the thrift store or maybe at the flea market, you know, like that they have in San Myshuno for the City Living Pack. So yeah, that was kind of my thought. So I started switching up some items that are technically more expensive within the game, but yeah, I imagine she's paying much less than that for them. Like this metal framed bed. Actually, I don't know which one I pick right now. I think I might do the one from Cottage Living first, which I liked, but it just didn't have quite the right swatches, or like the bedding wasn't quite what I wanted. So I do switch it out a little bit later for the one from High School Years, which I think works a bit better. And then I also swapped out the chair for the vanity. The other one, like, it was very like bright and colorful, but it just didn't really fit like how I wanted it to. Like, I don't know, it just kept like sticking out too much to me. So I imagine maybe she bought this as a set. So like, because that chair matched that vanity like almost perfectly. Like, it's kind of wild. And that end table also had a color that tied in really well with the vanity and stuff. So I imagine, you know, maybe she even like refinished these pieces herself so that they would all match. And that's kind of, you know, how she got it to work like in the space. So yeah, I imagine, you know, she, you know, has access to some sort of studio like at the school, and she can like come in and sand down furniture and refinish it and all of that. And, you know, maybe that's something that she really enjoys doing. So yeah, and I thought this dresser fit in pretty well, kind of tied in some of the blue from the rug. And I went with blue curtains, which, wow, those curtains also took me forever to figure out. I cut out pretty much all of me looking through the catalog, because yeah, that was a struggle. I could not find something that would tie in with the rug and all the other pieces. But yeah, I went with the ones from Desert Luxe, and I think those worked the best. And I ended up keeping her bathroom, you know, pretty simple. You know, since it's a rental, she's not doing any major renovations to this bathroom. So yeah, pretty simple overall, but I did put in a couple of different like art pieces. I think I put a painting above the toilet. Yeah, fairly simple overall. But yeah, for my next video, I'm planning on building a bowling alley for my date night series, kind of like a series of community lots that you can bring your Sims to for dates, of course, but, you know, also just to hang out and do something. And also as just kind of part of rebuilding Magnolia Promenade, so it's a bit more useful. So yeah, be working on a bowling alley. I'm going to try and I think I'm going to go in a more modern direction with it. I've been looking at a lot of different inspiration photos and stuff for it. And then I still have the other 4 apartments in this building to finish up. So if you have any thoughts on, you know, maybe what kind of Sims you'd like to see living in this building, let me know. I have some ideas, but I'm certainly open to switching those up. So yeah, please let me know if you have any ideas. And if you have any thoughts on really any other build. Someone had suggested doing like a ballroom venue, which I thought would be really cool. I don't know if it'll necessarily be in Magnolia Promenade, but I definitely want to look into that and see if I can create something like that. I think that would be really fun for sure. But yeah, I'm just kind of finishing up with the stairwell here for this part of the building, and then I will leave you with a little video tour. So yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I know there's a million things you could be doing right now, so it means a lot. If you liked the video, please leave a like. That helps a lot. And subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thank you so much. Have a great day.